Hey Cavs fans, welcome to another episode of the Cavs Pick and Roll Podcast, the podcast for diehard Cavs fans. Corey here with you with Alex as always. And Alex, Happy New Year, man.
Hey, Happy New Year to you.
2023.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I think we haven't recorded in like 3 weeks.
Life kind of got in the way here a little bit over these last several weeks for both of us, actually. But yeah, we're back, and very special episode, Alex. A milestone is being hit right here. Episode 100.
A big 100. And
We teased on the last episode. We had a bit of an announcement, a big announcement. And you want to go ahead and drop the news, Alex?
We are now on YouTube. So if you're a listener to the show, you can pop into our channel on YouTube and watch our show now.
Yeah. If you're into video podcasts and you like to watch what you're seeing or listening to, I should say, you can now find us on YouTube, and we'll be doing video podcasts for all of our episodes moving forward. And what I'm looking forward to the most is when Alex and I record, we don't usually see each other, and now I can see him. So when I make a comment or remark, I could see, okay, are you over there laughing, or you're like, what is this dude smoking?
Probably sleeping.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, Corey's on one of his rants.
Yeah. He gets a sip of his drink, and that'll be fun.
I start playing Retro Bowl on my phone, just like...
Yeah, not paying attention. I'm just distracted by the painting behind you, Alex.
Yes, really, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's an artist, so she makes all kinds of paintings, and we hang them up. So
very cool, very cool.
But this is something. Buy some art, fund the show.
yeah. There you go. But very cool. This is something Alex and I have talked about wanting to do for quite a while, and we finally got the logistics kind of figured out here. And still posting audio episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. That's not changing. We'll just also be on YouTube, and you get to see some video podcast action as well.
Except for Stitcher. For some reason, we're missing an episode on Stitcher. I'll figure that out later.
So, Alex, before we get too far into this, we're in a new year. But one thing I wanted to ask you, this is off the cuff because I like getting your genuine reaction. I don't tell you these things. 2022 is over. Okay. The Cavs 2022 season is over. If you had to describe the 2022 season in a single word or short phrase, what would be your take on it so far? What would you describe 2022 for the Cavs season?
Ooh, 2022 for the Cavs. I'm going to say new beginning. Is that one word?
I said short phrase. You can take a short phrase. We'll
do short phrase.
We'll do short phrase.
Say, the big thing was that we got Donovan Mitchell, in the offseason. That was our huge move. And it's already paying dividends.
Yeah, totally. If I had to pick, I would go with exciting. Now, the Cavs have had some ups and downs, a little bit of a roller coaster. They had, that 5-6 game losing streak, whatever it was. They're having a couple losing streaks here and there. They're having injuries again. It's a new group trying to figure out how to play together. But you could see it. You could just see it. You have a star in Donovan Mitchell. You still have Garland. You still have Mobley. Jared Allen on a nightly basis just puts up numbers. You can just feel it that there's going to be, the potential for this team, not just this season, but just for the future beyond. So it's a new beginning, which brings excitement, right? So that would be the way I would describe 2022. And I'm looking forward to just more Cavs basketball here in 2023 for sure.
Yeah. I like your backdrop, Corey. I got the artwork, and you got like all the Cavs gear behind you, man.
Yeah, I tried to put some stuff up there. I got. I don't know how well you can see it, but I got Mark Price NBA starting lineups. If you grew up in the 90s, you'll know what those are. And what's funny is, maybe I'll take a zoom in picture and post it, but he's shooting like this. He came in the package with his head behind his arm, and you can't move it because I'm not going to open it, right? And I'm just like, you know what? Mark Price is so good at shooting. You don't need to look at the hoop. Like, that's awesome to me, then a couple bobbleheads. You gave me the Evan Mobley bobblehead. You probably gave me the Big Z one too, because you always seem to go to Cavs
Yeah.
games and get a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff, and
I got you
your
that one
kids are
too.
like, I don't want this crap, so you give it to me.
And is that the
But you,
Rubik's Cube back there? I think I
the
gave you
Rubik's
that
Cube is
too.
back there. I still can't figure that out. I keep it in the office, and just a couple other stuff. This Cavs fans welcome, others not allowed. I hang that on my front door. It kind of keeps the haters away from my house. Alex, I highly recommend you getting one of those too.
That's a good one. I like it.
But yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, just some fun stuff to post in the background. So, did you get any Cavs stuff for Christmas this year, real quick?
I got a few things. Like my wife got me like a Cavs travel kit that came with like the cat like a neck pillow and some baggage tags and like a little case that holds cords.
You could say you work for the team when you're at the airport.
Yeah. I already have the Cavs suitcase, man.
Yeah.
Like everything around, like everything I have is Cavs. A couple Cavs shirts. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty good. You made a good killing. I'll say this: my kids are getting older, so the focus tends to be more on them when it comes to gifts now from my parents and my family and all that stuff, which is fine. So my gifts kind of shrink. I kind of hey, get them this, and I only I ask for less things every year. It feels, and I got 2 Cavs shirts, which my my parents are always good. They just know I don't even have to ask. They'll always give me some sort of Cavs shirt. But that was it this year. Not as much as you, so I'm a little jealous. Yeah,
I do have my Cavs Christmas hat sitting here because
wow.
it's still somewhat in season, right?
Heck yeah,
Here
man.
we go.
I don't know, why aren't you wearing that? Come on, man. It's a video
The
podcast.
Cavs. It's got the 2016 championship
Very
on it
nice.
there.
All right, you wear that the rest of this episode, but next episode, because I know you have it, you need to pull it out, the Mozgov hat.
All right, I could do the Mozgov hat. I could
Yeah.
do the Anderson Varejao wig.
You got the feather, so you got the big feather like Sir CC hat.
Yeah.
Every episode, I want a different hat.
That'll be tough, but I might be able to do it.
All right. Good stuff. See, Cavs fans, if you're listening to the podcast, go to the YouTube channel so you can see what the heck Alex is wearing and what the heck we're talking about. And just more fun. Now that we're on YouTube, we could do stuff like this. So let's talk some Cavs basketball. A lot has happened since the last time we recorded. I'm really just interested in the most recent Cavs games, primarily the Bulls games. The Cavs played the Bulls back-to-back in Chicago over the weekend, and then in Cleveland here on Monday night. And 2 thrillers, Alex. I would argue, man, like both of them could be considered. I don't know if like, what is it, ESPN did the classic hardwood games. They used to do those. I don't know if they still do those or not. But man, I can argue, especially the second game in Cleveland, and we'll get to that, could be instant hardwood classics. They were great. They're like playoff games.
Yeah, definitely. Like that first game against the Bulls. Well, it was in Chicago. We led most of the game, and then they came back on us and made it really close. It came down to the wire. What was the final score? 102 to 103, I think.
103 to 102. The Cavs win it, and basically DeMar DeRozan had a chance to win it at the buzzer.
Yeah.
The Cavs did a pretty solid job of forcing him into a tough shot. I believe I read somewhere the NBA 2-minute report said there should have been a foul call on him, but that didn't happen.
On DeRozan?
Yeah, like he should have been shooting free throws supposedly. But yeah, that was a bit of a nail biter game, and it was nice to eke out that win, especially because the Cavs were on a 3 or 4 game losing streak prior to that. That would have really stung to lose that game too. So glad they were able to pull it off. And a couple players had some nice games, man. Yeah, I was just gonna say Kevin Love, man.
Kevin Love and LeVert, both came out of their shells for that game, man. Kevin Love had 20 points, 5 3-pointers,
9 rebounds. Yeah, he's been doing a good job filling in.
Assist, steal, block
with Mobley out. And then LeVert, I mean, he's been pretty inconsistent, but every once in a while he gives you something, and that night we needed it. He gave you 23, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Great performance.
Was Garland out the game before that too, or was this the first game that Garland was out?
I think this is the first game he.
So I remember thinking, okay, Garland's out. who else is going
Yeah.
to step up and score besides Mitchell? And then
Right.
that's,
Yeah, I don't
Love
remember if
and
Garland's
Levert.
missed 2 or 3 games now. He had a thumb injury. I don't remember if it was against Brooklyn or the game before that. But Mitchell's been forced to run point, which tends to be okay, but he had a quieter offensive night. He had 15 points, so you needed other guys to step up. Even like Chetty and Akuro both poured in double digits. It was just a well balanced kind of team effort, and the Cavs, yeah, were able to win that game
I
in
mean,
Chicago.
who else was out? Your boy Windler.
He's still out, man. I read
Ankle
an
injury.
article today.
Ankle
I read an
injury.
article today. I meant to send it to you, and I don't remember the name of the website, but I googled like Ricky Rubio because I wanted to see what the latest was on the injury update, or maybe it was Dean Wade. It was one of the two in like preparation for this. And there was an article that popped up for Dylan Windler, and it's only like a day or two old. And the title of the article said the Cavs need to invest in bubble wrap for Dylan Windler or something like that. And I read the article and it just talked about how basically he's been injured since his career started, and the Cavs should invest in bubble wrap to wrap Windler up. So I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
cold, but at the same time, it was like, oh, Alex would get a kick out of that.
I'm surprised he's still on the roster. This is what, his third season?
Yeah, the Cavs picked up
Man.
his contract for the third season, and yeah, I did read, and it doesn't feel like it, but the article said last year was his best season, and he played in 50 games. It doesn't
What?
feel like he played 50 games last year, so I never heard of this site, so I won't. I don't know how good the source is, but I'll have to look at basketballreference.com or something like that to verify because they'll tell you how many games he played. But yeah, it's the same story every time we bring him up, and it's just kind of depressing. But
Yeah.
he was out, Mobley was out. But yeah, man, the Cavs just they stepped up and they eked out a win against a Bulls team that's trying to figure things out themselves, and it was a tough game. And just again being on that 3-4 game losing streak, I was like, whew. I think you sent me a text too. Man, that was a nail biter. That would have sucked if we would have lost that, so on and so forth. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it was a
but
good one. And
the more
then
exciting game.
yeah. Then we played Chicago last night.
Yep.
At
In
our home
Cleveland.
on our home court. We were down. I mean, I didn't watch the first half. Like, we went and saw the new Avatar movie, and then we went
Mm,
to Grand Fiesta in Strongsville, one of my favorite Mexican
nice.
places. And
Very good.
by the time we got back, it was already, into the first quarter, and I just didn't turn it on because I had too much margarita and fell asleep on the couch. But then I woke up and I checked the score, and they were down by like 20 points. And I was like, I don't know if I want to even turn this game on now. But ended up turning it on in the third quarter, and that's when they kind of started heating up. And it was a hell of a second half of the game, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, a lot
Instant
to lot
classic.
to, lot to talk about, man. Yeah, I have a text chain with a couple buddies, and the one guy starts IMing or texting and complaining about foul calls and things like that, and I'm like, yeah, and there's no Mobley, there's no Garland, there's no Wade. This was going to be a tough game, especially since we just beat them the game prior. They're going to be motivated, and yeah, just the second half came around, the calls started swinging our way. Mitchell starts going off. And before you know it, the Cavs kept clawing their way back into the game. And by the end of the third quarter, I think it was under 10, a 10-point game. And I'm like, shoot, I'm texting back. They have a chance. They have a chance. You know what I mean? And little by little, they whittled it down. And, the very end of the game comes down to Mitchell making some free throws. He makes the first one. He misses the second one intentionally. I'm assuming you saw this play by now.
Oh, yeah.
He misses the second one intentionally, somehow squeezed in there to be able to get that put back. And just the place went bonkers. Cavs bench, the fans, just. I felt he got fouled. I think he looked
Yeah.
like he was shoved from behind. It should have been an and one.
Yeah,
And
it
that
should
could
have
have been
been.
the game. That could have been the game right there. There's only 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I can't believe he got grabbed that rebound. He was kind of like behind all the bigs and jumped high enough to get his hands on that ball enough to push it back up towards the hoop. And
yes.
get it in.
And
And yeah, like you said, it was all contact too. I can't believe that he got that ball in through all that contact.
if you watch that, it's almost like Lopez had a hand on it too, Robin Lopez, and he kind of took it out of his hands, and Lopez kind of realized at the last second and did one of these. And man, what a freaking play and a way to seal that comeback. And then there's 3 seconds left. The Bulls take a horrible shot. I think it was a 3-pointer or something like that. And I'm like, there's no way the Cavs are losing this game now once it went to OT. I'm like, there's no way Mitchell's allowing that to happen. And just even the fact to claw all the way back without Garland, without Mobley, without Wade, you still don't have Rubio. Like, just you're missing so many pieces. And we watched LeBron so many times put the team on his back.
Yeah.
And Mitchell did that last night, and he broke not only franchise records but NBA records doing it. And let's talk about some of that. Like, what's some of the records that you saw that he broke? I want to see if you know any, and I'll rattle off some. If you know any,
First player in NBA history with a 70-point and 10-assist game.
which is crazy. That's
That
crazy. And
that's wild.
he was 2 rebounds away from a triple double. Like, imagine that. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. And that helped that there was no Garland and he had to play point. So it just kind of worked out that way. But yeah, that was an NBA record. As far as a franchise record, it's the most points scored by a Cleveland Cavalier. I was just telling somebody tonight. I was like, I can't believe all the years we had LeBron and had Kyrie. Like, nobody ever scored more than 50. I think 58 points was the previous record by LeBron. I'm like, wow, it's kind of crazy to think that nobody ever broke 60. And Mitchell comes up, 2 months into his NBA, career with the Cavs, and he's breaking that record.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was also a new record for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, I saw there was only 8 other players in NBA history, I believe it was, that have scored 70 or more. Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Kobe Bryant, so on and so forth. So
I saw him listed as number 7.
number 7, I thought I
Yeah.
saw him as number 8. So, but yeah, just crazy, man, just crazy. And the Cavs just went off in overtime and never really looked back. Never gave him a chance.
Yeah.
And
You
the
know
Bulls
who else
just
played really good in
demoralized.
this game? It was Okoro. Like, I thought Okoro played fantastic defense the whole game. He actually was very aggressive getting to the hoop. Let's see what he had. How many points did he have? He scored quite a bit.
He was solid, and that was one of the things I wanted to bring up. He didn't have a great scoring night that night. He only had 3 points.
Maybe I'm thinking of the night before. Yeah.
The night before he had a better night. I think he had 11. But I wanted to bring up Okoro because it's been a little while since we recorded, and he's actually played somewhat solid and somewhat consistently over the last month or so. And I like what I'm seeing out of him, and hopefully he can keep that up and continue to contribute on a nightly basis. And those question marks about him will go away, very quickly. I know a couple other things about this game. Chetty had a nice game too. Chetty put up 19 points. Kevin Love, did you see this? Going back to Kevin Love, did you see how many rebounds he had?
17 rebounds.
17 rebounds, man. That's old school K Love. 12 points, 17 rebounds, man. Just the widely veteran on the team, just stepping up and just contributing. And I also saw that Kevin Love has moved into the Cavaliers' top 10 all-time field goal makes. He continues to go up the ranks in Cavalier franchise history. And again, I think his number is going to be hanging from the rafter one day, Alex. When it's
I think so.
I wonder if he's going to come back. I think I can see him entertaining it. Why would you walk away from this? Like, come back, sign a 2-year deal, 2 or 3 year deal, and come back for, $10 million a year or something like that. That'd be 3-year, $30 million deal.
Yeah, let's do it.
And end your career in Cleveland, man.
Yeah,
the window's going to be there for the next 3 years. So,
yeah, I don't know what he'll do. Like, that's definitely, he has a strong motivation to come back and keep racking up the records. And I mean, it seems like he loves being on the team and loves being in Cleveland. So why
Yep.
not? The other side of that is maybe he wants to return to Portland, like where he's from, or
Yeah.
maybe he wants to go to LA where he played college ball at UCLA. It's
Portland can't figure it out, man. That window has shut. They've already, they traded away McCollum last year. Dame's a great player, but he can't do it by himself. He's have his own injury. Like, I feel like Portland's another season away from blowing it up themselves. And I don't know. It just feels like more of a surefire thing with the core of Garland, Mobley, Mitchell. Everybody, Mitchell's like the oldest of that bunch at like what, 26 or 27. And Garland and Mobley are under 25. Allen's like 24, 25. Like the core is there. You know what I mean? It's just more of a sure bet. I would think, but you never know. I think he does like being here, and he's stuck around this long. He's came here when we were a championship contender. He was here through the dark years, and he's going to be here again while we're a championship contender. And I don't know. I feel like it'd be a good move to bring him back and have him continue to be part of this roster.
yeah. I feel like his jersey's already going to get retired in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Him,
yeah, I think so
LeBron,
too. With the 10-year.
possibly Kyrie.
Yeah, let's talk about that real
I
quick.
don't
Real
know.
quick. Real
Maybe.
quick. Kevin Love. So a couple things on Kevin Love. So we played Portland the game before these bowl games. I don't want to talk about that because we lost. Who cares? Kyrie did look good. It was vintage Kyrie. He had 32. Durant had 32, and just the Cavs couldn't match that.
Right.
But after the game, Kevin Love made a comment of, I don't understand why Kyrie still gets boos, basically when he comes back to Cleveland, and also that his numbers should be retired. Like we should be past all of that. And I wanted to get your opinion on this. What's your take on Kyrie? Is Kevin Love right? Should his number be retired?
Kevin Love must not follow the news very closely. He must not be up on all the latest Kyrie drama and the things that he tweets and the things that come out of his mouth. That's all I got to say. I don't know. I don't want to get political, but Kyrie
Yeah,
does a lot of stupid things and makes a lot of stupid comments. And he burned some bridges when he left, and he hasn't been doing himself any favors. He did make some nice comments
he did.
about Cleveland recently. Got to give
Yep.
him that, but at the same
Yeah.
time, he still acts like a immature knucklehead a lot.
Well, here's my rebuttal to that. Not that I'm disagreeing with you, but you know, I've said this a couple times on this podcast over the years now. The Cavs got the best version of Kyrie. Kyrie was sick with it. Kyrie was a lot of people's favorite player, even when LeBron was here. He was mine. I know a lot of other folks where Kyrie was their favorite player. Just so fun to watch. And maybe he was crazy in the background. That wasn't all out in the foreground like it is now, right? And he hit the biggest shot in Cavaliers history, at least up till today, and sealing the deal for us to win a championship. So, yeah, he's done things horribly since he's left. Yeah, he kind of dogged us when he left. But at the end of the day, I mean, LeBron dogged us way worse. He went on national television and dogged us. Kyrie didn't do that. And
Well,
not
he
only
went on
that,
national television and made a decision to go to another team. He didn't go on national television and say, "Oh, now I'm playing in a real sports town." Like,
yeah, but I mean, you felt like that's a clip that forever will live on YouTube with millions and millions of hits and views. The day that, as Cavs fans, we all learned that the best player in Cavs franchise history up to that point left us, didn't give us any kind of heads up, and we had to find out watching it live on TV. Like, I don't know if anything will ever surpass that. And yes, he came back. Yes, he helped us win a championship team, but he left a second time. And you know what? His number should still be freaking retired.
yeah. Well, he did come back and win a championship, and the only championship in Cavs history. So
yes, and Kyrie was part of that, and he helped hit that big shot.
yeah,
And he was here, 7 years, All-Star appearances, Rookie of the Year, won an All-Star MVP. He's in the record books too. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things to argue for that case too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But if I had to pick today, I'm going Love, Kyrie, LeBron. All their jerseys should be retired. once they retire from the game of
Yeah.
basketball.
Delhi,
So
Mozgov.
yeah, yeah.
Let's get them all.
Shasha Khan,
J.R. Smith.
Jr. Man, I know this was a couple weeks ago, and I hate that we're talking about stuff so late after it happens. But just real quick on Jr. Did you see him? Did you see him at the Browns game? And he was at the Cavs game the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to do the whole taking the shirt off in
Yeah.
Cleveland at 30-degree weather. That was awesome. I love that. That's always his shtick whenever he comes back to Cleveland. Is he going to be like 65 years old? And they're going to give him the mic at center court. Moondog's going to hand him the mic. He's going to take off his shirt. 60 years old out there, giving the peace sign to everybody. I just love that. That's what they always have to do when JR's around.
Classic.
But shout out to JR, man. That's great. I hope
Another-
someday he's like part of the franchise in some way. I don't know. I need him to be around the Cavs more.
Another thing I saw right after that, the next morning after that Bulls game, this last Bulls game, Donovan Mitchell tweeted, and now we're being drug tested.
Yeah,
So I thought that was
saw
kind
that.
of funny. Yeah,
I thought that was funny. Yeah. Another thing too was Robin Lopez tweeted out, between me and Donovan Mitchell, we had a combined 72 points because Lopez had a single point.
hashtag historic game. Yeah,
yeah. And did you see at the end of the game, Mitchell's doing a quick interview or whatever, and Chetty comes and steals the mic, and he starts chanting MVP, MVP, and gets the crowd to chant MVP.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you got to see it. It's so great. Just hearing Chetty talk is always a treat, but for him to come do that was pretty cool. And then they hugged it out. And that's the thing with this team, man, just the camaraderie, how they can kind of just joke with each other and just, have fun together. And it's a rare thing to see that. And I tweeted out like Cleveland or just Cavs fans in general love this team because they're special. You could see it. And man, last night is just one of those nights I don't think a lot of Cavs fans are going to forget anytime soon.
Were you watching the Bulls broadcast of that game too?
I was.
How obnoxious was their play-by-play in color?
So explain this garbage.
The whole game they're crying about the Cavs taking free throws and all the calls going their way, and nobody on the Bulls can even touch Donovan Mitchell because they get called for a foul. It was constant. I don't know who their play-by-play or commentary guys are, but they cried about it. It's all they talked about the entire second half of the game. Yep. Donovan Mitchell taking more free throws than the entire Bulls team, and they need to even this out, and there should be an even number of free throws on both sides. It's like, these guys are clowns, man.
It was like under 2 minutes left in the game. The game's clearly over, and the color commentator, I don't know who it is, but he kind of just like, I'm just going to come out and say it. The officiating in this game has been horrible, just like completely one-sided. The second half was absurd. It just like everything that you're saying. And it was just kind of like, I kind of did like one of these, like, I can't believe that, a broadcaster in general is just, being that straightforward about that. I feel like we would never hear our guys say something like complain and moan. Like, at the end of the day, we needed to play better defense. You let the Cavs had 47 points at halftime, and they finished the game with 145. Now, your defense just sucked. You gave up almost 100 points in the second half. you know what I mean? And you let one player go off for 71. Like, I don't know. But man, how salty do the Chicago Bulls and just like their fan base must be right now. Just very demoralizing losses for them, and I love it. I love it. It was great all around. I had a hard time going to bed last night, to be honest with you. By the time that game ended, I couldn't calm down for at least another hour or so. I was just so pumped and reading everything. It was awesome. It was great. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I was trying to look up who the commentators are. It's
every time
Stacey King and Adam. Aben?
Stacey King, former Bulls center player
Aben?
Back in the 90s. Every time I watch the Bulls, it's a lot of the times we watch Cavs games. I think we both end up watching the other team's commentators, not by choice, but just we take whatever we can get, right? So I've listened to them several times, but yeah, I didn't realize it was Stacey King. So whatever.
Lots of crying.
Yeah, yeah. So
What a
let's
baby.
let's talk about something else real quick. So NBA All-Star voting opened up a week or two back, kind of mid December, I think it was. I got that email from the NBA. You can now vote and all that stuff. And every once in a while, I get emails. Hey, your vote counts as 3 today, and all that stuff. And there's 4 players up for nomination for the Cavs: Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. I don't think any of those are too shocking. But the question I have for you, Alex, is if you can only send 2 out of the 4, who are you sending to the All-Star game this year? 2 out of the 4.
I feel like Mitchell and Garland are the 2 obvious choices, but
Yeah.
I kind of want to do a guard and a big. I'm going to say Mitchell and Allen.
Yeah, I like that combination too, and that would be who I would want to send because Garland or not Garland, Allen again is having another masterful year. He's a consistent double machine. The impact he makes on this team, et cetera, et cetera. But it's the same problem as last year. He's not that sexy pick. Nobody else outside of Cleveland, is, a Jared Allen fan or realizing what he's doing. And I think he's going to get snubbed again, unfortunately. And I feel like Garland probably has the best chance. Mobley's having, an okay season. I just think everything right now is just overshadowed by Mitchell. And Garland has missed some games. Now Mobley's missing a few games. To where Mitchell's kind of been the most consistent, even though he's missed a few games himself. He's had some big games already. You know what I mean? I feel like he's a shoe-in for starter. I'm hoping he can be the starting shooting guard in the All-Star game. But I'm really hoping another Cav gets there. And my money's on Garland having the best chance just from like a fan base voting perspective.
Right. I think Allen kind of makes the biggest impact on the team. When
He
Allen is
does, man. He's
out,
the heart of this team, man.
he is. He is. He's our defensive anchor. And when he's out, it's like it just isn't the same defensive effort. And
No,
who do you plug in when Allen is out? There's nobody else on the team that plays defense the way or has that presence like he has that presence in the paint. So
exactly. He's been so valuable. I remember he's on what a 5-year, was it $100 million a year? It was like $20 million a year or something. Like just a
mhm.
steal, just a steal. He's going to be here, through this whole championship window, and he'll continue to improve and make an impact. My second question for you is, if you could send only one of the 3 in the 3-point contest, who would you choose? Garland, Mitchell, or Love?
For 3-point contest.
Yeah, I don't know how they pick that. To be honest with you, I don't think there's voting for that, is there?
No, I don't think there's voting. I'm not sure how they pick that.
I don't know if like the NBA players vote. Do coaches vote? Do freaking uh, um, does Chris Fedor get to vote on that? Like beat writers and stuff. I don't know how that works. But man, I need a Cavs player in the 3-point contest. It's been forever. I think Kyrie was the last one. I don't think Garland never made it. I think Kyrie was the last one. But if you can only send one, who are you sending?
I am sending Kevin Love. I think
I'd like to see Love there.
he's our 3-point specialist. It's what he does best. Three
I'd like to
points,
see him there.
3-pointers, and outlet passes. Man, that's his game.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I'd be happy with any one of them, but I would like to see Love get in there one time. I feel like Garland and Mitchell, they have some time left to where we can see them sneak in over the years. But I got to see a K Love Cavs 3-point entry into the contest. I think that'd be cool to see.
I'd like to see Mitchell back in the dunk contest.
The dunk contest, yeah, that'd be cool too. But I think it's going to be the same old, first or second year guys. A lot of people don't know. So
Yeah, more than
yeah, let's
likely.
talk. Let's talk about some other stuff going on. Kind of, we'll switch gears a little bit. with us a little bit. So we're on YouTube. We're also on Tumblr now. If you're on Tumblr, you can find us. Just search Cavs Pick and Roll Podcast. You'll find us. We're still on Instagram, starting to post there a little bit more. But Alex, we're not too far apart as far as our ages. And you grew up in the 90s, right? Like I did. And one of the things a lot of boys did in the 90s, if you were a basketball fan, was you bought basketball cards, right? Did you buy basketball cards growing
I got
up?
tons of basketball cards.
Do you still have them?
Oh, yeah.
You do? All right. That's awesome. I still have mine.
I have to get them out.
You definitely have to get them out because I've been doing that here over like Christmas break, and I've been having a blast looking at 90s basketball cards, 80s basketball cards, and so on and so forth. And I started going through my collection. I was like, you know what? I got a pretty good amount of Cavs cards sitting here. I think I'm going to start posting these online. You posted a couple a month or two back. You posted Campy Russell, like an Anderson Varejao card, so on and so forth. And I was like, you know what? I want to start. It's 2023. I'm going to do a challenge. I'm going to do a daily post of a random Cavs card. And once you pull out some cards too, you can get on this and start posting some card. I know you have your treasured. It's sitting. I think it's sitting right next to you because you just
my lucky autographed Bill Laimbeer card.
He keeps it in his wallet.
There he is, Bill Laimbeer.
We'll definitely have to post that one day.
Prince of Darkness.
But yeah, so if I've posted, I think 3 or 4 by now. If you follow us on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram, really anywhere, Tumblr now as well. Heck, I can even post it on YouTube. Be on the lookout for that. Just some, some fun things to look back at. And it's kind of also like giving some love to a random Cavs player. It's like the Cavs player of the day, but in the form of a basketball card. And the very first one I posted, Alex, was the Brad Daugherty NBA Jam Session. They were the longer cards that came out for a year or two back in like 93 or 94. And I sent you a picture of that before I posted. You're like, that thing's sweet.
Yeah.
So having some fun with that. Be on the lookout for that. And Alex, you'll have to get in on this, start going through your collection and start posting some
to get
stuff.
Up into the attic and pull out some boxes.
Yep, for sure. The other thing I wanted to mention too was I've talked about in the past how I've gotten into Cavs media guides. It was last year at some point, or not last year, 2021. I want to say the end of 2021 or very beginning of 2022. I bought a eBay lot of Cavs media guides, and I just had a blast looking through those. These are from the 90s and before the internet and all that stuff, right? Well, I picked up another media guide lately, a couple weeks ago, and I've been waiting till we do this on video so I can have pictures up on the screen real nice, and I'll post them up here and post them on social media as well. But I got the 1987-1988 Cleveland Cavaliers media guide. I showed you a picture of it, Alex. It has Hot Rod Williams, Brad Daugherty, and Ron Harper on the cover, and it's so 80s.
What a squad.
It's so 80s, man. And these Cavs media guides, man, they're a blast. They're basically Wikipedia and basketballreference.com before they even existed. They give you all the play. They do a recap of the previous season. They give you a preview of the current season. They tell you everybody on the roster. And they even tell you franchise records and things like that. And there's 2 things I want to read from this, Alex. On the second page there's an announcement here. It says new Cavs audio service begins, and it gives a phone number out, and it says the Cleveland Cavaliers are initiating the Cavs Hoop Line, an audio service featuring broadcast quality voice actualities of Cavs players and coaches, as well as updates on the Cavs. I take that as 216-659-2222. You're gonna call that number, and it's gonna be some little kid's number. I don't think it exists anymore, Alex.
Is not in service.
Cavs turned it off.
I'm super disappointed right now. I was really excited about that number.
But let me keep reading this. The Cavs hoop line, and then it gives the number, okay? And then it says information will be updated each weekday during the basketball season and will be updated periodically throughout the season. During the season, there will be interviews with Cavs players and coaches after each home game, as well as interviews with the Cavs opponents. In addition, the service will provide information for ticket season holders and news about future promotions. Hey, it's going to be, they didn't have bobbleheads, but hey, it's going to be bobblehead night on, March 1st or something like that. Periodic updates throughout the summer will include summer camp news and summer activities on the Cavs. And what's crazy, what I'm interested in, so basically this was a number you can call to listen to like Cavs press conferences almost. Like you would hear Mark Price, a 2-minute clip of Mark Price after a game,
Mm-hmm.
or Mike Pello, or, whatever. And they'd have some promotion stuff going on because, you're a season ticket holder and stuff like that's just wild to me.
Yeah.
And what I don't know is, was this a free service or something you got charged for? It'd be pretty cool if it was a free service.
It sounds like it might have been. I don't know. You were talking about being a 90s kid, like 80s, 90s kid. I don't know if
Yeah.
people remember this, but you used to be able to call a phone number and listen to a recording of like somebody reading a story, like a children's storybook. I don't know. Do you remember that?
No,
You
I
don't
can't
remember
say.
that? Oh, they used to do that way back then. Like I remember when I was a kid, like, I don't know, flipping through Highlights magazine or something, they'd have like an 800 number and you could call it and listen to somebody reading you a storybook. We used
Can
to
you
call those
imagine?
things all the time.
Can you imagine if that service existed today, and the person reading the story was like Austin Carr? Like reading, like, like, I don't know, The Wizard of Oz or something like that, but it's Austin Carr, and Austin Carr's,
Austin Carr's national treasure, man. I love that.
he is, man. Well, who else would you pick, Alex? That's why I said Austin Carr. I would pay for that. The one other quick thing I wanted to point out in here was it gives you each player on the roster, and it tells you like their birthday, where where they played high school basketball, and all that stuff, their age. And but one thing that's interesting here is they have a section of how they were acquired, like how the Cavs acquired them. You just showed that Bill Laimbeer card, right? The
Mhm.
Cavs drafted him. He played 2 seasons with the Cavs. Do you know how Bill Laimbeer left the Cavs, Alex, by chance? Probably not.
I don't recall.
Okay, I'm going to tell you because this 1987-1988 media guide tells me. There's a Cavs player by the name of Phil Hubbard who played for the Cavs. He played for a while, 6, 7, 8 seasons. Was a solid player. But basically, we acquired Phil Hubbard from Detroit on February 16th, 1982, with Paul McKeskey and 2 1982 draft choices, a first round and a second round pick, in exchange for Kenny Carr and Bill Laimbeer. So that's how the Cavs traded away Bill Laimbeer to Detroit, and the rest is history, because that's definitely where he had his best playing days and contributed to championship teams.
The card says that Bill enjoyed a fine rookie campaign with the Cavaliers in 1980 to 81. His statistics included 216 assists, 56 steals, and 78 block shots. Bill was drafted by the Cavaliers in 1979, but chose to play professionally in Italy that season and joined Cleveland last year.
Very cool.
Yep.
That's another reason why that's another reason too with the basketball cards. I kind of forgot, like you flip them over and there's usually a little blurb on the back,
a little
and
stat line.
They'll show them a little stat line. It's like, just, man, I'm so used to just looking up online now. It's just a trip. I enjoy this kind of stuff, so I always like to share it when I pick it up. And the good thing about this, Alex, is this was a lot. It came with 2 media guides. One I've already had. So you're getting the other one the next time I see you.
Sweet.
I also got the 1995-96 Cavs media guide. We're talking Thunder Dan Marley. We're talking Harold Miners in there.
Oh.
Some real goodies. Some real goodies are in there for you, Alex. So I'll give that to you next time I see you, or when I drive into the office or we meet up or whatever.
Awesome.
You're always giving me stuff, so it's time I give you something.
Hey,
So
another
yeah,
thing that we were talking about watching this Bulls broadcast.
yep.
Well, good news. Bally Sports struck a deal with
Oh, that's
FuboTV.
right.
So
That's
we'll
right.
actually have a streaming TV option that will have Cavs games. So I might have to drop my YouTube TV and switch over to Fubo TV to watch Cavs games in the. They haven't set a specific date yet start carrying those channels, but within the next couple of weeks is what I read. And not just Cavs games, but Guardians games, Blue Jackets games, all the regional sports networks.
That is first and foremost. Thank you for bringing that up because I wanted to bring that up and I forgot to bring it up. And what's funny was you tweeted that out at like 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, Alex. Alex is up drinking or something or playing video games, playing Skyrim on his Switch. And but the funny thing was I was up too, so I saw the tweet and I got really excited. I'm like, no way! And I'm kind of surprised. Like I haven't seen. I don't know. Maybe I just have been missing it, but I haven't seen more excitement about this online and social media. But I was going to confirm with you, like the sources are legit, right, Alex? Don't tease me.
Oh, absolutely.
We're gonna have a legit way
yeah,
to watch Cavs games here soon.
if you go to Fubo TV's website and look at their frequently asked questions, like they address like the timing of it, that the deal has signed, it's done.
That's awesome.
The price of their base package will not go up any higher when these channels are added. They do mention there could be a regional sports fee. I remember that they had that back when YouTube TV still had the regional sports networks, but it all looks good to me. The only thing that kind of sucks is that YouTube TV does have some channels that Fubo TV doesn't.
NBA TV is one of
NBA
them.
TV they have it, but it's a extra cost. There's like an $8.99
Right.
Fubo TV extra package that you can get. That's an extra $9 a month that adds NBA TV, MLB Network, and like 20
Football
other
or something.
channels.
Yeah, soccer.
But some of the big channels that Fubo TV doesn't have is like TNT, which is a big one because TNT has some basketball games.
Right.
TBS, True TV, which is one of my favorites because I'm a big Impractical Jokers fan. So
Nice.
yeah, so that's kind of a bummer, but yeah, to watch Cavs games, it is what it
That's
is.
huge. That's huge news.
Huge.
And again, once that kind of gets out there a little bit more, because again, I haven't seen a ton of posts or excitement on that.
I
online,
posted
maybe.
about it on Reddit too, and it didn't get much.
Yeah,
Like I thought people would be excited about it, but everybody's like, we're a bunch of whatever.
we all want to moan until we have to.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a provider I have, so I don't want to switch or pay more for another provider.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I'll say this: it kind of good timing because over Christmas break, you probably do the same thing. Like a lot of people, we do the same thing where you share different networks, like streaming services with your family, right? Like, hey, I'll pay for Disney Plus, you pay for Netflix, we'll share passwords, we both win, kind of deal, right? We do that with our family. And my brother-in-law is like, hey, I have Fubo TV. And this was before this came out. And I'm like, oh, do they carry Cavs games? And he's like, I don't know. So he gave me the information and they didn't have it, but I still have the login details. So I'll be re-downloading that app.
There you go.
And I'll pretty soon I won't have to listen to Stacey King or gosh, the Knicks broadcasters are another one I always get stuck with. And all those just shiesty streaming services, non-legit streaming services that you're kind of forced to watch because let's be real, we ain't paying for Bally Sports around here. So it'll be nice to have a legit option. I don't have to cast it to my TV and wait for the buffer and some porno ads popping up.
Close a bunch of ads, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like just man, I miss the days of just plop on the
ads.
couch.
I'm not getting porno ads, Corey. I don't know what streamers.
Some weird ones, man.
Which ones you're going to, but that's not what I get.
Some weird ones on mine, man. But it'll just be nice to be legit, even though I'm not paying for it. So, I'm excited. I hope that starts up here soon. If they said a couple weeks, man, it's already been a couple weeks.
It was announced on the I think I saw it announced on the 21st. I think that's at least when I
Like I
noticed
need
it.
that
So
by
it's
the
already
end.
been 2 weeks.
I need that by the end of this month, by the end of January at the latest. Like a couple weeks is not a couple months.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
I'm
mean? So
hoping.
hopefully they can make that happen here soon, and there'll be another legit option for Cavs fans out there. I'm totally excited for that. Who the Cavs got next?
The
Let's talk
Suns,
about that. Let's talk about that, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Phoenix
They
Suns.
got the Phoenix Suns. Man, they're tough.
It's a good team. We'll be
They're a
tested.
very good team. So we're going out west, Alex. Oof. Yeah, we needed these Bulls games, man. We're going out west. Or actually, I'm sorry. First, the Suns are coming to Cleveland, and then we're going out west. Suns, man. I don't know how Chris Paul is still around doing what he's doing, but Devin Booker, he's exciting. I've talked about Booker before in the past. He's a player I wish the Cavs would have got at some point, but Mitchell is Booker and better. Um, and then we go out west. We play the Nuggets, the Suns again, the Jazz. Maybe Sexton will be playing by then. The Trailblazers, Timberwolves. That takes us to January 16th. The Cavs don't play at home again until January 16th.
Yeah, it's a long road trip.
It's a long road trip.
They struggled that
And
last lengthy road trip, so we need to.
they
They
did.
need to not slip in the standings here. They need to keep on chugging away and winning some games.
Yeah, I saw they slipped to the 4 seed. Um, and they're still sitting there now at the 4 seed. The Nets are figuring things out, so they climb the ranks. And, the 76ers are only a game behind you. A long ways away till the playoff, picture and all that stuff. But yeah, you want to remain one of the top dog teams. And I think the challenging part of that West Coast trip will be, well, are you going to be healthy or not? Is Garland day to day? Is he missing a game or two, or is he going to be out here for a week or two? Like I haven't heard any official word. Same thing with Mobley. He has an ankle injury. Um, Dean Wade, like I was thinking about that. That's probably why I Googled him and then that Dylan Windler article came up. But like I remember back when we recorded our last episode in early December, um, his injury happened and it was only supposed to be 3 to 4 weeks. I feel like it's been that and beyond that. When's he coming back? I think that's going to play a factor. Like you can't expect Mitchell to run point for a 6 game road swing and be able to just do it every night. You know what I mean? Like you need your second scoring option, which is Garland, and you need your third stud, which is supposed to be Mobley.
The bar's been set. I expect 71 every night.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I guess
expect
I guess the
72 between Lopez and Mitchell. Let's put it that way.
There you go. There you go. Or hey, switch it around. Switch it around. Lopez has to get 71 now, and Mitchell, you get one.
Oh boy, that'd be an
But did you
ugly.
see? Did you see? Some good news might be on the horizon with Ricky Rubio. It sounds like he is nearing a return, and man, I'm hoping we can see him return some point this month. That'd be great.
That's what they've been saying since the
Yeah.
off season was that they expect him to come back. Beginning of the next year. So I'd expect his return anytime. I keep seeing videos of him like scrimmaging and on the
Yep.
court. So
Yep.
he's
There's
taking
been
reps.
more articles popping up lately about him, improving, in his recovery. Bickerstaff just said the other day he's still making strides in the right direction. And I saw an article like 2 weeks back saying, it was anticipated, early next year. So I take that as, sometime this month. So we'll see. But he'd be a nice piece to get back, work him in with this group. And really right now, that's the biggest challenge is, again, how many times has this team actually played together full healthy with the consistent starting lineup? And at the end of the day, yeah, they're a little bit inconsistent right now. They have some bad stretches because of that, I think. But at the same time, there's still a new, exciting team that you can see is going to be a contender for years to come. So it's all good. I can't beat them up that bad for losing some games here and there when they're missing star players.
Right. Yep.
So
Injuries are part of the game.
it is part of the
We know that
game.
better than anybody.
Yes, we do here in Cleveland. We do. Well, Alex, it's been fun, man.
Yeah. Episode
First,
number 100,
first
man.
episode 100,
Who would
man.
have thought?
Milestone. First video podcast episode. And looking forward to doing this again. And I think that's going to wrap up this episode of the Cavs Pick and Roll podcast. I want to thank you, Cavs fans, as always, for tuning in and listening. And Alex, I don't know, I feel like the list is growing, but do you want to let them know where they can follow basically everywhere on social media now?
Yeah, follow us on Twitter at Cavs Pick and Roll. Shoot us an email to our Gmail, cavspickandroll@gmail.com. Follow us on Tumblr now and Instagram at Cavs Pick and Roll. YouTube,
Facebook,
you name it, we're there.
We're there. Yeah, and you can listen to us basically anywhere you can get a podcast these days. So be sure to check us out. Leave us a rating, review. We would appreciate that.
Nice.
And I took your line.
Yeah, you did. I love it.
And there it is, Cavs fans. It's a wrap. Episode 100 in the books, and we will talk to you again soon.
Peace out, Cavs fans.